A while back, I made a video about the world we grew up in was long gone, but today I want to talk about how the internet we grew up in is also long gone. Now, the internet does move at really rapid speeds, right? Like it moves all the time, it changes about every day, all the time, especially when it comes to keeping up with content on the internet or trying to compete with other YouTubers online. If you're trying to do it as a career or just as a hobby, sometimes, man, like YouTube, like time goes by faster than real life time. But today, I wanted to talk about like the simplicity of the internet as well, because I do remember the times where things on the internet weren't as like complicated. The first time I really got exposed to the internet or even knew what the internet was, kind of, was in 2003, right? I was 5 years old. I remember on the AOL dial up internet, just barely. Man, it was such a crazy ass noise and time. But I remember that thing being very annoying. But I only remember this stuff because I had millennial sisters growing up too. So I got exposed to a lot of their time as well, especially with, MSN Messenger, MySpace. I didn't have MySpace or MSN Messenger. I just kind of know what they were. But bro, I remember some cool ass websites too on the internet where you could actually look at websites and every single website was like very personalized. It was very cool in terms of designs. Every website usually was very unique, and there was very interesting things about the internet too. Back then, like nothing was really censored if you really think about it. Like there was a lot of people that could post some really bizarre like posts about life stuff or anything that you could find, and you could just find it. It was very simple back then. The internet like that was kind of fun too, because I remember the fucking games on the internet as well, especially flash games when the internet got a little bit better and other things too. I do remember like the peak of flash games too. Like miniclip.com was one of my favorites. Also nickelodeon.com or nick.com, because they had free games every week at the time, man. They still got them, of course, through emulation, but it's just not the same, bro. Obviously, it was just really fun with simple things back then too, because the technology was kind of more balanced before like smartphones took over, in the simplicity of just enjoying the small things on the computer. And it wasn't just the internet too. Like I do remember playing 3D pinball. I don't know about y'all, but that game still slaps. I do actually have it downloaded on my computer to play it every once in a while because one, nostalgia, and two, they don't have them come with the computer anymore. Also, another thing I want to say about the internet too is everything was a bit more private back then. Like I do also remember that time, not that long ago, where people were told not to give out your personal information to the internet of any kind. Not even your name, not like what your favorite color was, not even what type of fucking favorite food or nothing. Like nothing, bro. It was crazy. I remember like people were telling me in school that, yeah, do not ever give out your address or passwords to anyone. That one's more common sense, but yeah, the first and last name, man. And also don't talk to strangers on the internet too. I remember that very heavily, but nowadays it's like the complete opposite of that. It's kind of crazy how much different the internet is now, and it's not always in a good way either. Sometimes it's good to keep things, old school. Now, it wasn't all rainbows and butterflies on the internet too. I do remember that time, the internet was scary as fuck too. I remember playing those creepy ass maze games with like, scary pop-ups, especially the scary maze game. Also do remember other games too. They were Halloween themed where they would basically, trick you into getting into an escape room or something, and then a scary ass pop-up will happen to you at the very end. It sounds like a fever dream, but bro, I remember those vividly because my sisters were a bunch of assholes and thought it'd be really funny at 10 years old to play those type of games, and bro, those never really left me. Especially the way those type of games were made. I don't know, everything was scary when you were a kid, but also it was just that the creepy ass like sound designs and picture choices they choose with the pop-ups were fucking horrible too. It was pretty bad, especially as a kid. Some people do believe that YouTube clickbait did not exist back then, but it did exist back then on YouTube in around 2006, 2007, 2008 era. It just was not in a way you would expect it. The clickbait was fucking, scary pop-ups. That's what it was. You'll get like the Wonder Pets theme song. You like look up something about a gameplay on YouTube. It was fucking everywhere, bro. It was out of nowhere too, and you didn't even expect it coming. I remember the red flag on YouTube was if you see something with Windows XP text at the very beginning, it has like something you're looking for, especially a tutorial, take that shit with precaution, because I remember watching a fucking video back then on the old internet on YouTube where like it was about how to get rid of scratches on a PS2 disc. It kind of shows my age a little bit, but fuck, I remember at the very end a random scary pop-up would happen and you just could not miss it, bro. I remember having to watch half the fucking videos on YouTube on mute because of that situation. It was obnoxiously annoying, but fuck, it's very memorable now. Another form of clickbait that was very common and it is surprisingly still relevant to this day, the Rick Ashley Rickroll is forever iconic. Like, I remember watching like PS4 footage reveal. It was like 2008, 2009 when the PS3 was just out for a couple years. And I remember being confused of getting Rickrolled by Rick Astley because I was like, maybe after the song's over, they'll show the review. And then the fucking video ended and I was just so confused. And then I started to get it after a while. I was only 10 years old, so I didn't understand it. But that's like the only thing from old internet that's still kind of relevant. I kind of wish they picked other things from old internet as well, because man, I just kind of miss it. But I will say, during the 2010 to 2011 era, it was kind of like the perfect balance where a lot more YouTube creators were making more money off YouTube, and that's when I kind of found out that you could make a lot of money off something you like doing. I remember in 2010, man, watching DSP Gaming. That guy was kind of a piece of shit, but I will say back then it was crazy when he was the first creator I found out that you could actually make money while playing video games. Obviously, it takes a bit more work and effort than just doing Let's Plays nowadays, but yeah, DSP was not a very good dude. I didn't even know at the time, but back then he was actually more well respected, which is kind of crazy because I never thought he would ever be well respected as I got older. But yeah, he actually was likable at one point. It's kind of crazy because I was one of the OG fans, I guess, when I was a kid. That's also how I got exposed to Modern Warfare 2, believe it or not. I was watching a DSP Gaming video of him playing Team Deathmatch on fucking Wasteland. I don't know how I came across it, but I remember going through his channel at the time just to venture through video games that I could never buy or play, because at the time I only had a PS2. It's kind of wild to look through the, my future of what games I was going to play for the PS3 if I were to get one. The better examples of gaming channels were obviously old school PewDiePie. He was playing horror games, and obviously Machinima, bro. I remember those weird Modern Warfare 2 skits. I don't know if you all remember that, where, there's like a weird skit where there's like a zombie invasion. It was like some really bad voice acting. I don't fully remember it exactly what it was called, but I do remember it though. It was fucking weird. I think I could find re-uploads somewhere on YouTube, but yeah, it's fucking, it was funny. Older YouTube was actually kind of crazy too. It was very chill and laid back. Like, I remember watching crazy ass skits of like super edgy content, super offensive stuff. And back then, you could basically say whatever you want, swear whatever you want, and get monetized for it. That sounds amazing now, but man, it was like such a different time period. I did try to make videos here and there back in like 2009 to 2011 range, but unfortunately I did delete that old channel. I wish I kept it for archive purposes, but yeah, it was actually kind of cool making those videos for fun. And also, people on YouTube back then, for the most part, before 2010, were making videos as a hobby and for fun, not for fucking views and money at the time. It's kind of wild because I do remember watching YouTube before looking at the view count ever. It was wild. I just watched anything. As I look towards more to the future, I was really excited about it at first, but now that we're kind of here, I'm like, man, the internet really is kind of bland now. Like, it's not bad, but it's definitely just a bit different, and it's not always a good way. Like, YouTube is not bad still for me, but like YouTube definitely feels a lot more like censored, because man, especially the comment section. I remember like when I was reading comments back then, shit, dude, it was super toxic and hostile to the point where like you were basically getting death threats and like racist slurs left and right all day, every day on those. But now you never see those anymore. You still get hate comments, but they're definitely not what they were. They're definitely more like realistic and more adult like real life stuff, but still, it's crazy how much different things have changed in that department as well. Sometimes I do get nostalgic and try to revisit my old like websites I would look at just for nostalgic purposes for certain things. And there's some of them that are still up, but then there's some that I just don't see anymore. Like, there was a really good one where it had Wild Tangent Fate. You remember that? I don't know if y'all remember that game, but I did show gameplay of it once. They did recently remaster it too, and they had a big mod section. I remember downloading a bunch of mods for that game. I was a diehard fan of that game too, because it was like one of those games that came on an HP computer, or I found those free trials and I ended up buying the whole thing. It was like a Diablo clone, but I didn't give a fuck. It was fun. Nowadays, I try to look up a modding forum for either old school Fate or even Fate Reawakened, and I come to find that there's really no like, mods for it anymore much that you could find. There's some you can still like discover, but it's not the same at all. It's really depressing, and I kind of wish they didn't delete that forum, because that forum was very important for me. It was a part of history of my childhood, damn it. moment. The saddest thing that I can remember about modern internet now in recent memory is that you have to use your ID to visit certain websites now, and it's really sad a little bit. Like, it's really a big invasion of privacy. I did make a video about it a while back about the YouTube AI ID thing, and yeah, I have never had it happen to me yet, but I witnessed it with my girlfriend. She was just listening to music, you know. It was very explicit stuff, but she was old enough, and they literally restricted her for watching fucking, you know, listening to music just because of she didn't have her ID. It's kind of wild, bro. It's bullshit. I don't agree with that still, but it's interesting now that, like, soon other things are going to be taken away with ID. Like, I'm surprised they haven't ID'd other material like downloads, or fuck, they even try to track where you live and shit. Now, obviously, back then, you could still put out your address and information for ordering stuff online, but I don't know, dude. Like, now you got to give out your information for everything just to visit certain websites. It's just not the same, man. It's crazy. It's like going inside a Walmart or grocery store, going inside the public, you know, and they ask for your personal information for everything, or ID. I personally feel like it's just bad practice and bad business altogether, because it's just going to drive a lot of people away. It's really sad. The good thing is, a lot of people are fighting back with the AI ID verification, and I'm kind of glad, because, you know, it kind of gives me faith in humanity a little bit, and hopefully we can go back to a, you know, a more peace internet surfing experience again, because I just find it very unnecessary. But I do know that the modern internet is not all bad, because at least nowadays the internet speeds are a lot faster, so if you ever want to emulate stuff on the internet or something, or download ROMs, or download important things or heavy stuff at once, it's kind of convenient in that department, because downloading things back then were a bitch. I definitely remember a time when I was trying to emulate Zelda Twilight Princess on the Wii emulator with the GameCube ROM, and man, it took fucking forever. I remember it took like, you know, 8 hours to try to download like 4 gigs, and that was a lot back then to download, and now it's like nothing. It takes like a couple minutes or a couple seconds. It's kind of bizarre. I'll also never forget when I had the fucking PSP, and I was able to go on the internet browser with Wi-Fi for the first time, because I figured it out as a kid, and man, it blew my mind heavily, because, you know, that was the first time I ever seen anything portable to even go on something as basic as Google. I did try to, you know, go crazy and try to watch a YouTube video with it, but obviously it didn't work because it wasn't meant for it. But the fact that we were able to like web surf basically on the PSP in 2004 or 5, even beyond, is crazy. It was a win too. That thing was ahead of its fucking time. And of course, the last thing I did do as a kid was watch a lot of Call of Duty commentaries and Let's Plays of my old favorite games, or games I don't even have. It was a fucking blast. I do miss, like, you know, the old school Call of Duty commentary channels. They were fun. It's nice to see some of them kind of come around every once in a while, which I'll try to revive theirs. That's pretty sick. But it was kind of wild back then that people were making careers off of just basic Call of Duty commentaries. Like, it's fucking wild. And it kind of brings me back to old internet vibes, and that's why I wanted to do something like this too, because I do remember back, you know, 10 years ago, I tried doing a Call of Duty commentary channel, and it fucking failed horribly. I was just talking about the game and shit the whole time. Like, bro, ain't nobody want to do that. But yeah, it was fun, and I'm kind of glad that the old internet vibes are coming back with these older, newer Call of Duty commentary channels, and it's really refreshing to see a new one keep coming. Right now, one of my new favorite Call of Duty commentary channels I've been watching a lot, Raid Russian, dude. That dude is pretty sick. I like his, like, fucking stories time videos. They're pretty funny. They're definitely, like, the oldest, like, OG, old school vibes I've seen so far. But anyways, that's all I gotta say about the modern internet. I do miss it sometimes, but I also will appreciate the modern times with, like, fast internet speeds and stuff like that, too. It's kind of nice. But maybe one day we'll get a nice balance of the both worlds, because it'd be really cool to see old internet make a comeback with modern technology. It'd be pretty fucking sick. Until further ado, I'll see you guys later, and I'll see y'all in the next video. Peace out, and y'all have a good one.